Hello and welcome to our Latin lesson. Today's topic is the first declension of Latin nouns, and that declension is also known as an A declension. So let's start. We are going to start with the way Latin nouns look in a dictionary form. At the beginning, we have a nominative, the whole nominative. Then after that, we have just the ending for the genitive case. And at the end, we have a symbol for the gender. M stands for masculinum, F for femininum, N for neutrum. So if we are talking about the first declension nouns, the nominative has to end in a. So we have, for example, terra. And if we are looking just in a dictionary form of a noun, the first declension will have then just I as an ending, because that's an ending for the first declension genitive. And the majority of Latin nouns of first declension has F for gender. That means that the majority of the nouns of first declension in Latin are femininum. Now, let's go on. So, we have to be aware that what's written in the dictionary is just a short form for Latin nouns, but when we are saying that out loud, we cannot just read the abbreviations, the symbols. We have to read everything. So if we have in a dictionary vita, I, F, we have to read the whole nominative, vita, the whole genitive, not just the ending I, vitae, and we cannot say for the gender F, we have to say femininum. So when I want to ask you what is the Latin noun for life, you are going to say vita, vitae, femininum. Let's practice. Stella, I, F. What is the form that I have to hear you say out loud? The whole nominative, the whole genitive, the whole gender. Stella, stellae, femininum. Let's practice more. Via IF, this is the dictionary form. Out loud, you have to say that via, viae, femininum. So what's our conclusion? First declension nouns in Latin have nominative singular ending in a, genitive singular ending in I, and the majority of nouns is femininum. There are some examples of the first declension nouns that are masculinum, and I want you to see them in a dictionary form. Poeta, nominative, the ending for genitive is I, and the symbol for the gender is M. Pirata, I am, and nauta, I am. Poeta is a poet, pirata is a pirate, and nauta is a sailor. Now, this is the dictionary form. I want you to practice how to say these nouns out loud. So, the whole nominative, the whole genitive, and the whole gender. Do it. Okay, so now we are going to see on the example of vita, vitae feminine, femininum, how we decline the first declension nouns in Latin. If this is the dictionary form of this noun, and it is, you have the first two cases. So nominative singular is vita and genitive singular is vitae. You see here that I separated the stem or the base from the endings because you can have only one base and on which you put the endings on. So let's now do dative. Dative has the same endings as genitive and singular, so it's vitae. It is a little bit difficult to differentiate between these two cases in a sentence, but we are going to practice. Accusative has the ending so you have vitam. very nice ending. You're going to recognize it straight away. Vocative is the same as the nominative. Vita, don't worry about that because vocatives are usually separated by commas in a sentence. There is an exclamation mark at the end of the sentence and there is an indication of yelling. For example, an imperative is used and things like that. So don't worry about vocative being the same as nominative. Ablative, on the other hand, is again the same as the nominative, vita, but this is a little bit longer than the nominative and vocative are. You're not going to pronounce it any differently, but you are going to see it in a text. Now let's go on to plural. Plural starts with nominative and the ending is also I, vitae. Now we have a reason to worry about the same nominative plural, genitive and dative singular. So we need a lot of practice to differentiate between these cases. Genitive plural, on the other hand, has a very recognizable ending, and that's arum, vitarum. Dative in plural has an ending is, vitis. Accusative in plural has the ending as, vitas. So genitive, dative and accusative in plural, we like them because they have the endings which we can recognize in a sentence straight away. Vocative, okay, the same rule as in singular is the same as the nominative, so vitae. Don't worry, once again, vocatives are easily recognizable. They're separated by commas, they have exclamation mark, and they have some kind of yelling in a sentence. Now, there is another rule for plural. Ablative is always the same as dative, vitis. Now, we are going to practice to differentiate between these two, but they are much easier than, for example, genitive, dative, and nominative plural. Now, pay attention once again. In singular, nominative and vocative are the same. In plural, nominative and vocative are the same, but also dative and ablative are the same in plural. So pay attention to these rules because they will make your life much easier. Now we have to practice translating these. Nominative singular, vita, a life. You start a sentence. This is always a subject in a sentence. Genitive singular, you have to put the preposition before it, and that's of a life. For example, part of a life. Before dative, you have to insert also prepositions. Now we have option for or to a life. For accusative, you have to put or imagine a verb before translating it. For example, you can use accuse, see, appreciate. What? A life. Well, for vocative, you just need an indication that you're yelling. Here I've put hey life and I put exclamation mark there. For ablative, you have to insert the prepositions. There are more. I just use to here, about or with a life. Now, the translation for plural is the same as for singular. You just have to use life in plural. So nominative would be lives. Genitive vitarum, of lives. Dative, once again, for or to, lives. For accusative, once again, you have to use or imagine some kind of verb before it. Accuse, see, appreciate. What? Lives. And now the yelling case, vocative case, vitae, hey, lives. An ablative in plural, please insert preposition about or with, and then lives. Now, this was the first declension of Latin nouns. This is it. I explained it. Now, in the description box, you have links for exercises, so go on and practice. We are going to see each other soon, hopefully during our next Latin lesson. Bye!